Hello everyone. I was listening to the latest episode of Wintin Tolerance yesterday. It was episode 227. Dylan and Juan were talking about how to program when you have machines with different spindle speeds in your shop. Do you program for the slowest spindle and run everything at that speed? Or do you program for the machine that you're going to run on and then reprogram if you switch the job to another machine? A shop I previously worked at had the same problem. I wanted to share how we dealt with that. They had 4 Haas machines, 3 of them had a 15k spindle and 1 had a 12k spindle. What had been happening was everything would be programmed for 15k, and then when those programs were run on the machine with a 12k spindle, the feed was just turned down to 80%. This meant that any toolpath running below 12k was artificially being slowed down. The solution was a post-modification that allowed you to set a maximum spindle RPM. Any operation that was programmed faster than this maximum would have the RPM reduced to the post maximum and the feed rate reduced in proportion to this. One of the machines had a pre-next gen control, so the post that we were using was an old post, so that's the post I'm going to go through in this video. The first thing we need to do is to add a maximum spindle RPM parameter. At the top of the program here, the top of the parameters, that's what this is. You've got a value of 15,000 RPM there. You can change that to suit whatever's appropriate for your situation. Next, we need to change anywhere the spindle speed is output. This is the original code that's been commented out, and then we have an if statement. So if the maximum RPM is less than the programmed RPM, we use the maximum RPM parameter. Otherwise, we use the program speed. Then if we search through the code, you can see there are 6 places we need to do this. Next, we need to change the feed rate anywhere we have changed the spindle speed. So at the top of the function that outputs the feed rate, we add an if statement. So that if the maximum speed parameter is less than the program speed, we perform a calculation which reduces the feed rate in the same proportion as the spindle RPM. Then there is a second place that this needs to be changed. Now let's look at what happens when we post using this post processor. I've created a simple 2x2 block and have a toolpath that machines the perimeter. As you can see, the feeds and speeds, we've got the spindle speed set to 15,000 RPM and a feed rate of 60 inches per minute. Now when we post this, you can see here the parameter for the maximum spindle RPM with a default of 15,000. If we post this file, you can see spindle speed comes out at 15,000 RPM with a feed rate of 60 inches per minute. And if we go back to Fusion and we edit the toolpath to be 10,000 RPM, sorry, leave that there as the default, and we post and change this to 10,000 RPM. You can see the resulting file has 10,000 RPM and the feed rate has been reduced to 40 inches per minute. Now if we look at one more example, we post again. This time if we go to 7,500 and post, you can see we've got a spindle speed of 7,500 RPM and the feed rate has been reduced from 60 to 30 inches per minute. I hope you found this video useful. If I've missed anything in the post, let me know in the comments below. This modified post is available on my website. There's a link in the video description. Use it at your own risk. Thanks for watching.